friends, we're back again on the mend. We're in a very busy public park, and people are going to be coming by. But oh well. We're just gonna kind of roll with it. Let's We're gonna be dealing with a lot of cars driving by noise, I'm afraid. It's just a thing that's gonna be happening. How's it going out there? Sorry about all the cars driving by. I could have tried to find somewhere else to park, but, you know, c'est la vie. I've already burned enough gas as it is. Hello, Joshua Parsons. How are you doing? I'm glad you think I'm beautiful. Might not be beautiful too much longer if I can't figure out a way to scrape up some money for a hotel. I've got really all sorts of skin problems. It's a whole thing. It comes along with the whole autoimmune disorder, with the respirator and all that mess, you know. But yeah, when I'm unable to keep my skin nice and clean and take showers every day and all that sort of stuff, I start getting really bad. Build up on, I get like scales, like dry scaly patches, and they start cracking and bleeding, and I get these like abscesses. It's a whole thing. So, yeah, that's part of the reason that we're streaming. Other than in general, I am trying to do streams on the regular, but we're in a bit of a extremist situation at the moment here. As you may notice, I am inside of a van. This is a U-Haul van that I have to return at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I don't really have much lined up beyond that. So we're really up a creek without a paddle, you know? Uh, I went over this on my stream earlier a bit, but for all of those new folks popping up, I've got a severe autoimmune disorder that when it flares up, it causes my nervous system to swell. It makes me get all confused and disoriented and aggressive and whatnot when it gets really bad. First off, it just comes in with the brain fog, makes me non-functional, you know. And uh, amidst, long story short, amidst my bouncing around, I got booted out of the hotel I was in because they only let you stay for a certain length of time, just because. And the next hotel I tried to go to was full of cockroaches. And boy, did that flare up my autoimmune stuff. Sorry, I'm making the camera jiggle by having my foot resting on that. I'll try to settle a little. But yeah, the autoimmune stuff was flaring up bad. So I had a couple of days where I was just really not with it, not functional, not able to focus, do streams, record stuff. And I started getting all the chest pains, and my lips are burning from being exposed to the dust. And yeah, big mess. I've barely managed to rent this U-Haul and get all of my stuff out of the cockroach hotel with the help of my 14-year-old, but uh, haven't been able to make it past that at this point. Ended up having to sleep in the U-Haul last night, and that's not a really sustainable thing. I can't really function in here more than a day or two. Uh, I'm trying to get this whole puppet show started. You can see my puppets popping out over here. Some of them. Uh, we got a whole cast of characters. I've got some voice actors uh, that have signed on to do the show with me. I've got a musician I'm working with. I've got a writer working on the script. So, like, I'm working whenever I can. Whenever I have a clean, quiet space that I can work in, I'm working from like 5 a.m. until like 8 p.m. when I pass out. But, you know, this is the sort of thing where it's not really, you know, even though I'm putting out silly little videos here and there when I can, I'm spending so much time just scrambling, having to, you know, beg for money and find new hotels and all this mess. So progress is going a lot slower than I would like. I mean, obviously, while I'm sitting here doing live streams in a U-Haul, being like, "Hey, please send us money," I'm not actually working on the show, um, which is a real bummer because all I want to do is work and spend time with the kids, and I'm being held back from both of those by late stage capitalism keeping its boot on my neck. Like, I've got. Whoop, there goes my old phone. You see this brace here? I broke my spine when I was in my early 20s. I fell off the third story of a parking deck, and I was in a real bad way for a long time. But COVID kind of did a double-edged sword for me. it when I got COVID 2 years ago, it screwed up my immune system with all that stuff I was talking about before, but the it burned all the depression and anxiety out of my brain that I had gotten after I broke my back. So all of a sudden, like 2 years ago, a fire got lit up under me, and I was like, it's time to start like working again to get back in the world. And I've been busting my butt ever since then, trying to get like puppet shows started or record music or get a co-op going. Like constantly working, trying. But man, like for the first year and a half, I was stuck in a house full of mold, and with my autoimmune disorder, that I was barely functional. Uh, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is where I basically grew up. Yeah, I was born elsewhere, but I grew up here in North Carolina, Central NC. Yep. North Kakalaki. I've been trying to get out of this state off and on my whole life. I mean, I managed to travel around quite a bit when I was younger. I did the whole homeless traveling punk kid thing for a couple of years, but that was back before I broke my spine. I'm not exactly in sleeping rough condition. Yeah, it's not fun. Uh, I've got to constantly be changing like what I eat. If I eat or drink the same thing for like a week or two straight, I'll start having reactions to it. If I'm exposed to like the same animals or the same dyes or fragrances, things like that, I'm having to like I've got to try to like I'd have to use the you know free and clear detergents, or else my own clothes and bed linens and everything will start aggravating my skin. It's a whole mess, and it's really difficult to manage when you're homeless. Like I was saying, for the first year and a half, I was stuck in a house full of mold that my dad had severe rapid onset dementia, and he hadn't been taking care of the house, and my brother and his kids hadn't been taking care of the house, and so the house was just full of mold, and it was just keeping me so sick. I was trying and trying to clean the house up, and I kept my room relatively clean, but I had to have like an airlock partition up in addition to my door to try to keep the mold out, and I just couldn't keep up with it between, me, my dad with dementia, they were like 12, 13 at the time, but they're 14 now. Uh, and my brother and his three daughters, like, I'm 39. Yep. Uh, yeah. So the autoimmune disorder started when I got COVID about 2.5 years ago. Here, let me sit you guys down so I'm not just sitting here waving you around all willy nilly. Yep, I'm 39. I've got a 14-year-old, and I have an 18-year-old that I've effectively adopted. That's my 14-year-old's cousin, my brother's eldest, who was not one of the three girls at the other house. The 18-year-old, my mom and stepdad adopted. Take my mind off of it. Uh, Watch YouTube, but even there, when I'm watching YouTube, I'm generally trying to watch like content that I can use to like get ideas, if not for my own content, then for like, political activism and things like that. I'm on Blue Sky a fair bit. Um, I play music, I mean, I try to monetize my music because I'm homeless and trying to scrape by every way I can, but I'm also, I enjoy playing music when I get my keyboard out or my guitar, harmonica, just singing. I put out a video earlier where I recorded myself singing some a cappella stuff. Um, I like playing some video games. Um, well, activism wise, I'm a, far leftist of whatever variety. You know, Socialist, communist, anarchist, somewhere in that general possibility space, you know. They generally seem to have at least some sort of coherent ideology and uh, trying to make the world a better place, even if it ends up screwed up sometimes. But uh, instruments I play guitar kind of, keyboard kind of, and harmonica kind of. I used to play the trumpet also. Yeah. I played piano when I was a little kid. I was in like elementary school, I played the piano. And then in middle school, I played the trumpet. And then in high school, I switched to the guitar. And I kind of played guitar off and on my whole life. But uh, recently, I broke this finger. You can see how the nail's all screwed up there. I broke this finger, and that's really put a damper on my guitar playing. I can't even like bend it properly, so I can't really play guitar except kind of. Yeah, yeah, I do fairly well. noodling along on the piano, mostly one-handed still. I'm doing a little bit of things with the left hand now with the piano, but it's still this finger's still a bit tender, so it's I try not to go too hard with it. I almost started playing the bongos the other day, and then I was like, wait. No, that's a bad idea. Do not play the bongos, Willow. You will shatter your fingertip. It is still jacked up. I was excited though, because I used to play the bongos. I used to have some, well, not bongos. They were more like traditional African drums. I had a set from when we went to Burkina Faso. I used to play them fairly regularly. So the ones I almost played were like plastic and fake. But I was like, oh, I know how to play the bongos. Then I was like, wait, no, don't start smacking that. You will break your finger. Not a good idea. Oh man, the sun is coming out. It's getting hot in here again. I try to be cool. My most simple yet happy memory? Mm, I don't know. Probably playing in the grass with my kid when they were a baby. They were a really cute baby. uh, Other cool stuff I remember. Uh, going to the going to see Watsky play in Chapel Hill was pretty cool. I know it's kind of cringe now, the white boy rapping thing, but uh, that was a really cool show. My knees were giving me a lot of trouble back then, so I was using my cane all the time. So you can see in all the pictures of the show my cane up in the air, like being waved around. I saw Against Me play at the Cat's Cradle. That was nice. Love me some Against Me. They're a good band. Oh, did I log this dab? No, I didn't. What would I tell my 25-year-old self? Oh man, that's rough. I was in bad shape as at 25. Like uh I don't know, go to rehab maybe, but like they wouldn't listen to that. Everybody was telling I mean, I was going to rehab. Find somebody rich to pay you to stay in rehab. Like I kept getting booted out of rehab because I have borderline personality disorder, so I have to smoke cannabis extracts to keep myself leveled off. That's what I was just logging in my thing. I've got a timer, so about once every hour or so I hit my dab pen, and because in North Carolina they don't consider cannabis medicine. I kept getting kicked out of rehab for failing my drug tests because I was continuing to use cannabis because otherwise I'd go completely crazy and start fighting people, you know? But like I figured out at age 13 that smoking weed really helped me be a more normal, like functioning person, and it has taken North Carolina up until like a year ago they finally started letting people buy THCA at the store. They still don't do it medically as far as I know. Like they're just getting ready to do it, I think. But either way, it's been a whole mess. And I'm sober now. I've been sober for a few years. I got off the opiates eventually. I managed to make my way through rehab without them kicking me out. Hey, Kitty. Glad to see you here. Well, you might not have missed out on much. I mean, I haven't been able to stream much. I ended up in a hotel that was full of damn cockroaches and it made me sick as shit, so I wasn't able to stream for a few days. Also, their internet was crap, so I couldn't really stream there anyway. But yeah, the last hotel I went to was full of cockroaches, and it just made me so sick. And uh, yeah, so do I have a subscriber goal? Um, yes. I don't remember what it is. I mean, there's a, I think it's like 500 or something you get to. You can start offering people to pay for super chats and stuff like that. Uh, but I mean, yeah, I'm trying to get to, monetization levels as fast as possible. Or I mean, before you get to ad monetization, you get to where people can do like super chats and do memberships and things like that. Uh, so that's the next subscriber level I'm trying to get to. I think it's 500, but I'm not entirely sure. You know, uh, I have to look at the. I mean, I can probably look at it on this handset. Let me pull up the old YouTube Studio. I think it tells me in here. Yeah, earn. Here we go. Yeah. I'm at 288 out of 500. Uh, so that's what we need. And we also need 3,000 public watch hours. So we need people with their watch history to be watching videos, watching streams, and then we can start doing memberships and super chats. And that'll make it a lot easier for people to support us because they can just throw us $5 in YouTube or whatever instead of having to click on the little description thing and find the links and go to our Ko-Fi or our Cash App or our Throne and punch in their credit card information. And like, there's a lot of friction between people being on the live stream and tossing me a couple of bucks to keep going here. Oh, Be Still My Heart, the musician from our puppet show we're trying to get going, just sent me $15. Thank you so much, dear Ruby. Mwah. You're a lifesaver. I can at least get some food now and replace the gasoline in this thing that I've burned up running the engine to charge my phone. Let me update the display on the old Blue Sky since we got a $15. But yeah, it's a whole thing, Like, I'm getting a lot of great feedback. Yes, I am in a U-Haul cargo van. I have this rented until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then after that, I don't know what we're doing. We're trying to do the old crowdfunding for the old uh, hotel room. Yeah, that's what I was telling Kitty here a minute ago. We after the hotel room with the cockroaches, I was just barely able to check out before noon and get all my stuff loaded into this U-Haul van I rented uh, with the help of my 14-year-old. If I hadn't have gone and picked them up and brought them to come help me load stuff, we wouldn't have made it, and then the hotel would have been trying to tack on extra fees I don't have money for. But yeah, with my last dollars, I rented this U-Haul van and slept in here last night. Yep. And then we're so that's where we're at situation wise. I'm in the public park over behind where my kids staying at. So they can walk over here and see me wherever they want right now. But And I've also, my tent is still pitched up in the yard over here, with some of my stuff in it. But I mean, I've got most of the stuff I need, most of the crap that's left in there. Aside from like my, uh, well, no, my sewing machine is in there. I need to get the sewing machine out. I should probably go get that. Uh, my dream life? Man, like I wouldn't mind living in a van if I owned the van, you know? If I had like solar power to run my electronics without having to run the engine. Like that was what I was trying to do. I wanted to get a van and set it up with solar power and all that shit and just kind of travel around, you know? Especially with my autoimmune disorder, it really helps if I can move around from place to place because the more I'm exposed to a certain type of pollen, the more I start reacting to it. So if I can move from like biome to biome where they've got different blends of like plants and whatnot, then that'd be better for me health wise. I'd have to spend less time wearing the respirator, you know? Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna need to put this on in a bit, uh, which isn't exactly great for live streaming content. You know, I'm starting to feel like this the gritty mouth feeling and the burning lips, which means I've been breathing in too much of things that are messing with me. Oh, I forgot to post on Blue Sky. Streaming again from the van. There we go. All right. Uh, you're looking at it, I guess. I'm I'm spanging on the internet. I've been uh keeping things barely together by doing live streams and begging on Blue Sky and yeah, I make music. I've been I haven't put out a real solid video in a while. But there's a couple of music videos that I put up on the channel. I put out a couple shorts over the last day or two of me doing some singing. But that's just like a cappella. I didn't have my computer up to do run FL Studio or any of that mess. I've got my guitars right here, but my finger is broken. I broke my finger a while ago, so I can't really play guitar super great at the moment. I think I've got. Where's my guitar? Oop, bonk. Hit me. And I popped one of the strings on my electric. Oof. I need to get new strings for both of these. Where's a rag? I gotta wipe you off, you're dusty. I haven't tuned the acoustic in a while. She's probably gonna sound bad. Baby girl, you need a bath. This is an old ass guitar, let me tell you, man. This is from the 1940s. This is a Harmony Monterey acoustic. My dad won this in a poker game like 50 years ago. Oh, the tuning the guitar song. Sorry, I know I'm probably losing everybody. Especially since I'm not even gonna do anything impressive once I do get this thing tuned. Goodness gracious. There we go. Yeah, man, I can't even do. I got like 3 songs I can play and sing at the same time, and I can't really play any of them right now because this finger won't bend. Like, and they're kind of heavy on that finger. Well, I've successfully tuned a guitar. Wasn't that impressive? No, I'm more of a singer, really. I was in a number of metal bands when I was in high school and college age, that general time frame, and I was the lead singer in a number of bands. They tried to put me on bass guitar in one band I was in. I was in this punk band, and they tried to have me play bass. And then one day we were having practice, and I jumped on the mic just messing around, and all the girls that all like the I guess they were groupies, girls that were hanging out at band practice were like, "You need to be the singer." And boy, Ian, who was the singer before that, was not happy with that. I don't think that band lasted very long after that. We were practicing at Ian's house, and he did not appreciate being told that he did not sing well. Yeah. Oh, wow. C'est la vie. I wonder what Ian's up to. He's one of the few people. I think he just kind of drifted off. I never heard from him again. Most everybody I knew growing up's dead or in prison. Ian, I just kind of lost touch with. Dead, in prison, or some weird kind of religious. That's basically it. That's why I'm here, not on a friend's couch. Ain't got no friends left to couch a pun. But I don't know. I can do some singing if you want. I probably should have not just done a dab and then said that. Boy, that one hit my throat hard. That was a bit ahead of schedule, I think. But oh well. Yep. Alright. We're all caught up on all that. Can I review music? Depends what sort of review you want. Do you want one that is like well grounded in music theory and like, I mean, I could like write a review for like, you know, like a punk zine sort of review. Like I could tell you like what sort of energy it has and like, you know, um, uh, maybe what it sort of reminds me of. I've got a very wide, varied taste in music. I listen to just about every genre of everything. Probably the only thing I don't listen to is pop country, probably. Headstrong Gunner by ALDN. Man, I don't. Well, um, the problem with doing music reviews on the stream is if I play the song, then they're gonna copyright strike my stupid stream. Which I don't know if that actually matters at this point. I'm not monetized, so it's not like it's gonna demonetize it, but it might restrict its distribution. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been copyright struck on my YouTube streams yet, except for things that I actually had the license for. So I don't know exactly how all that works. Well, I know what I can do. I can listen with headphones. I've got headphones. Yeah. Let's find a pair of headphones. Where did I put all my headphones? Are there some in here? I think they're all in the thing I'm sitting on. Or the Bluetooth one's over here. The Bluetooth ones are gonna be a pain. I'd have to, de-pair them from something and... Here, I'll just pull some out of here. There should be some here somewhere. Well, there should be. Where'd they go? Ah, here they are. Ah. There's a pair. All right. Yeah, I've got a couple of... I was hoping to find my Sony ones, but... Hello! Maka Swifty! How are you? Sorry for, the kerfuffle there. Here, let's, back this up. Let you guys look at the puppets, too, again. Alrighty. I've got these now. I can plug these into my other handset and play the song, and we should not get any sort of copyright strike. I'm alive. No. um, struggling, van life, involuntarily. Yay, woot woot, let's go, van life. I wanted to live the van life. This is what I get. I said I wanted to live in a van, and now I'm living in a van. Unfortunately, I don't own the van. I don't have any solar power, and I've got to turn it in tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. All right, what was that song again? Headstrong Gunner. All right. Is it gonna play? Come on, YouTube. I dig the beat. That chip tune. Doo 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 doo. I like that. It's got a good bass line. The way they chopped it up there was nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Uh, the vocals aren't sort of the thing that I'm generally into. The sort of like, the sort of like half sung with like the reverb and the like sort of like auto tune glitch edge on it. Like that's something I'm not really into personally, but I'm not like it's terrible because of it or anything. That's just not like something I generally gravitate towards. But I love the beat. The backing track's awesome. Yeah, that's probably why I hadn't heard of them, is because I don't really go for the sort of like the sort of half sung mumbly sort of singing. Like it's just not something I generally go towards. I even more auto tune. Nah, I'm I have been doing some playing around with like destroying audio lately. Like one of the instruments I've been playing with a lot in FL Studio is I've got an emulator for an old Hammond B3 organ, and I'm running it through Boogex and emulating a stack with distortion on it. So it's running a Hammond organ through distortion, and that shit sounds pretty fucking rad. I've got like a pitch adjuster on it where I can or like a filter on it that I've got attached to my mod wheel on my keyboard. I've got a song I've been working on with that for a while. I need to get around to recording it. Uh, It's a really high energy sort of thing though. So it's gonna like I definitely need to be in a hotel room or even better a studio to record something where I'm gonna be like having to be shouting as I record, you know? It's uh it's a really weird track. I got the lyrics from uh this thing where some software glitched out and it was trying to translate like some ancient Jewish text or something, and it just like started like recursing back into itself, and it kept saying like the sacrifice, the sacrifice, the sacrifice. uh yeah, but I'm gonna turn that into lyrics. And I've got like, yeah, I've got the music mostly planned out for it. uh I just need to figure out my video effects pipeline. Oh yeah, yep, definitely. Sailing the seven seas. It's been on my list to get a legit copy for a while, but man, like I ain't got no $150 to get no producer edition, you know? I'm scraping up money trying to just even keep this U-Haul another day. Never, and plus then hotel room, etc., etc. But yeah, yeah, it's bad enough I had to pay cash money for the keyboard. Once I can get myself situated into a stable place, I can get my old Hammond organ out and try to fix that. I've got an old Hammond. It's not a B3 like the emulator I'm running. What? I can't remember what model ours is, but it's in a storage bin right now. But it needs some work. It needs some vacuum tubes, and power supply needs some work, and yeah, it's got a bunch of broken keys. My brother's kids climbed all over it, stomped on the keys, broke. Damn beautiful piece of equipment, and it's all beat to hell. Yeah. But I've been trying to pick the keyboard back up since I bought the MIDI keyboard about a year ago, I think. Has it been that long? Probably. Yeah. I've been picking it back up some, trying to learn scales again. Like, I played when I was a little kid. I played in elementary school, and then I switched to trumpet, and then I switched to guitar, and then I mostly was a singer for the bands I actually like did shows with and stuff. Uh, but I'm trying to get back into actually playing instruments. So I've been messing around on the MIDI keyboard, trying to fiddle around on the guitars when I can, but haven't had much chance. And I'm trying to do the puppet show thing too, since people seem to take more of an interest in the puppet thing. Oops, I accidentally started playing this again. But yeah. Yeah, I played off and on, uh, and, you know, I could still kind of play as of a couple of months ago before I broke my finger, but that's really screwed me all up with it, you know? I'm trying to like reteach myself to play without it. If I can ever get to another state with functional health care, I'm going to try to go in and get surgery on it again, and if they can't fix it, at least fuse it at a bent angle I can use to play the guitar with, you know? Yeah, I want to get back into it, and I also want to expand out. I want to learn new instruments. I want to start learning how to build instruments. Like, doing all this crafting with the puppets and stuff, it's made me want to get into instrument making. I want to build some weird, like, hurdy-gurdy type instrument things. Things with, like, a rotary drum driving strings. I want to get just some sort of rotary motor I can use and attach, like, something I can make a rotary bow out of onto it and just, like, hold it onto the guitar, you know? Just something that, like, uh something like a Dremel or a a disc sander or something, but probably not that fast, but something that I could attach something to and have it spin and create something out of maybe like plastic or something that you would rosin the ends of and have it vibrate the strings. Yeah. Piano is not as hard as I thought it was when I was a kid. Um, what I've been doing with piano is I will go pick out a scale. Just go pick a random scale. There's websites that will just generate a random scale. Just get a random scale and then just go start fiddling around with it. Walk up it, down it, skip notes, jump around, try different tempos, start listening to other music, and then like see if that scale can fit in with it. And that's the other thing I've been doing is just listen to music that you like and try to play along with it. Don't try to play what they're playing, just try to play something that will sound good with it. Just riff along with the song and just keep trying to learn new scales and riff along with, music that you vibe with, and you'll just keep at it cuz you'll start getting little bits of like, "Oh, that sounds good. Oh yeah. Oh, I could be in this band with them. Yeah. Oh yeah." And that'll like keep you motivated to like keep going along. Yeah, it's been great for me. The only thing that's bad about it is if you're listening to like popular music that you enjoy, you can't live stream and do that. I really like to like live stream and just riff along on the piano, but you gotta use like generic background streaming music to do that. And it's not as fun to, I mean, it's kind of good to play on top of because a lot of it doesn't really have a lead, but it's also boring and repetitive, and a lot of the songs are for some reason only like 2 minutes long, I guess because they're boring and repetitive. I don't know. I've got a subscription to Pretzel that I normally use when I'm streaming to provide music if I've got my desktop all set up and everything, but it's you know I'm not very happy with the music most of the time. But it is only $7 a month, and it means I can have some sort of noise going without getting copyright strikes that I have to worry about. Hmm. Oh, we're running low on the old battery. I guess I'm gonna crank the van up to get some juice flowing. It's gonna make the audio be not so uh, excellent, but uh, and yeah, it's gonna doubly make the audio be not so excellent because I have to unplug my uh, whoop, what are you stuck on? Anyways, my audio interface for the microphone right here that I'm using. Phone only has one USB port. You'd think they'd start making phones with 2 USB ports now, you know? Have one you can charge and one you can plug something into it. But we're stuck with this ancient technology of the stupid newest iPhone that I wish I hadn't bought when I had money. Anyways, I'll be right back. Oh no. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta rearrange our cords here. I'm gonna try leaving the fan off, but it might get too hot in here. Oh, well, the iPhone doesn't have a headphone port. I have a stupid little adapter that lets you charge and use the headphones, but it is like it makes this awful buzzing noise when you try to use it. It's really useless because it gives you terrible audio signal. I don't know how bad this sounds. Are you picking up too much engine noise? Sorry for going all white trash mode on you, but it's warm in here. I think I'm gonna have to turn the fan on. The sun came back out. Alright. Well, I'm gonna turn this on. I don't know what the temperature is right now. I can, try to find that. It feels like it's in the mid 70s, 80s or something. It just feels like it's probably okay in the shade over there, but the van is in the sun now, and I don't feel like moving it at the moment. But oops. Says it's 78 here in Raleigh. Yeah, that's about what I figured. Feels like 80. Yep. It's probably a bit warmer than that in the metal box that I'm in, but that's what the Weather Channel says. Yeah, it's nowhere near that hot. Oh man, I would not be sitting in this van if it was 102. Or if I might be in the van, but I'd have the doors shut and the air conditioner cranked, and I'd probably be parked in the Wegmans parking garage where it's practically underground. Yeah, I'm really sensitive to temperatures because of my disabilities, so I yeah. I don't always do too well with the heat and the cold. Yeah, I was feeling rough when I woke up this morning, sleeping in this van. It got chilly last night. My bones were all like, ow, why you do that? That's not cool. Focus a little bit more on the cute puppets and less on my undershirt. Sit up. Carver, you know better. Arr. There we go. Ooh, Mallory, I can't even see your face. What are you doing? Get with the program. Kind of. Oh, your bathing suit's coming up. Oh well. Yeah, man. Where are you at that you're converting to Celsius for? What where literally anywhere else in the world are you from? Oh, I messed that all up. Oh well. There. That'll do. Oh yeah, I bet it does. It doesn't, well, historically it hasn't gotten insanely hot here. It's been starting to in recent years. But mostly the terrible thing about our weather here in North Carolina is that we don't have a spring or a fall. We just have a period of time where it flip-flops between summer and winter a couple of times, like back and forth and back and forth, sometimes several times in a day. It's fun. Woo. We don't get any nice spring days, or like we get like one nice spring day a year. Our one day of spring and our one day of fall. It's actually relatively nice now, all things considered. It's been relatively, it was nice yesterday too. I guess this is our 2 days of spring. It's been flip-flopping a lot lately though. It's been going hot, cold, like it usually does. I hate it. I'm trying to get out to the Pacific Northwest where it just is rainy all the time, or foggy at least. That I can deal with a lot better. I got mostly Irish blood, so I don't do sun very well. So a totally overcast area sounds great to me. Well, had to isn't about it. I've been trying to get out of North Carolina for a while. It's all a matter of getting the funds up to do so. High up on my lists, though, I've been talking for a while about going to Bolivia. Bolivia would be, I think they've got a pretty strong leftist movement there that just shook off a right-wing coup in recent years. Seems like a pretty resilient social movement. Uh, they're trying to build up their social services instead of tear them down and privatize them. So yeah, Bolivia looks pretty good. Ireland, also not too bad, not too shabby. Ireland, one of the only countries really strongly standing with Palestinians. And I almost qualify for Irish birthright heritage. I'm like one generation extra removed to where I don't qualify for Irish birthright heritage, where I can't get citizenship just for being Irish. If it was my grandmother instead of my great grandmother that moved here from Ireland, then I could do it apparently. But yeah, state-wise in the United States, I'm trying to get to like Oregon, Washington State, maybe Northern California, that general area. I might try. If people speak it around me, I might start picking it up. I do pretty well with immersion learning with languages. Like when I spent time in uh, in Spain and France and Western Africa, I started picking up French more than Spanish, but I started picking up French pretty good when I was in Burkina Faso. But if I don't use it, it goes away. I never really learned languages well going to like classes and stuff. I tried to take Spanish, French, and German going through school growing up, but I didn't really do well in any of the classes. But when I went somewhere where they spoke it, I just started picking up the language just from trying to understand what's going on, you know? But I don't know if Gaelic is really like spoken enough like day to day that like I'd probably have to like go out of my way to put myself in situations where it was spoken all the time to uh, pick it up. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. Of course, that's all just a pipe dream. I'm certainly far away from having enough money to move to Ireland. I don't even have enough money to rent this U-Haul again tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. It's always nice to have reliable engagement. And I do a lot better when there's somebody in the chat to talk to. I'll tend to just kind of like start fading out, just like not being as upbeat and, you know, And then when other people tune in and see me just kind of sitting here, they don't, nobody wants to say hey and try to start a conversation unless you're already in the middle of a conversation, it seems like. I don't have a laptop. I have a desktop. I don't really have a way to power very well in the U-Haul. I don't really want to run it on this choppy ass inverter power. Like, I don't want to fry my RAM or destroy it or something, kill my CPU. So until I get back into a hotel room, I don't really have a computer. I've just got 2 cell phone handsets. This one old and slow as hell. This one full of infuriatingly badly designed software from Apple computers. I've thought about it. I don't know. Gaming is just such a crowded space. And I've never been good at gaming and streaming at the same time and doing like commentary, talking. Like, I'm not like, it's a lot better if all I'm trying to do is talk to the stream, or if I'm doing something specific to entertain the stream. I'm just not good. If I start playing a game, I end up just staring at the screen, playing the game, and not like engaging with people as much. And plus, there's a bajillion video game streamers. I'm trying to get into a slightly less crowded space with the puppet stuff, I feel like this is a slightly less, there's less people doing puppet-related content on the regular. I feel like I can break into this a little better, make a name for myself, But I've been getting a lot of feedback. As long as I'm, well enough to stream and functional, and people seem to be enjoying it when they tune in. People have a good time talking with me and talking about the puppets, and sometimes I craft puppets and do silly puppet voices and all that sort of stuff, but it's just, struggling to keep myself functional where I have a hotel room where I can get showers and all that sort of stuff, Well, yeah, I try to keep it positive, even though, things are rough right now. I'm not like, I don't want to come on here and just, like, I need to talk about what the situation is to let people know so they can, like, know that I need help. But I also don't want to just be like, panic and doom and gloom and all that. And that's just not the sort of energy I tend to bring anyway, I try to keep a happy face on things when I can. Yeah, there's a lot of bad energy out there. Unfortunately, the algorithm tends to reward a lot of that bad energy. And like, there are things I could probably do to like force some engagement, like start posting some things with like bait clicky toxic thumbnails or headlines and that, but I don't really like doing that stuff, I try to avoid it if at all possible. And I suppose I have continued to do so, even though I'm like, in the most desperate of desperate situations right now, and I'm still not posting rage bait, but I suppose now is when I should be considering it, but I'm really not. I don't even want to try to like make kids content. Like, I could try to do like kids videos with the puppets And I'd probably make better kids content than most of the kids content that's out there right now. But I also want to make adult content with these puppets, and I don't want to get into that ethical quandary of, oh, but you're going to be drawing the kids into the adult stuff and the blah blah blah, you know. Well, yeah, that's one thing I've still got, is my self-respect. I've taken a lot of L's for sticking by my principles on a lot of things. And, you know, like, if I die in a ditch tomorrow, at least I'll die not having been a shithead, you know? Like, I did what I could to try to make the world better instead of shittier. Get real frustrated that my body's held me back from doing so much. It's time to smoke a pipe. Let's see. How should I do this? Here we go. I'm just gonna take you out of here. There we go. I'm gonna stick you right there. Hold on, I gotta go grab my stuff. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I can stand here and smoke and have most of my smoke not be going into the truck. And it's kind of shady. Yeah. The algorithm has really been getting bad lately, and it's incentivized all sorts of terrible behavior. And everybody at the top just seems focused on extracting as much wealth as they can out of the system, with no concern for the downstream effects it has upon everybody. Gonna run out of tobacco soon. That's a whole nother problem. I had quit tobacco, and then it turns out nicotine binds to the acetylcholine receptors that the spike proteins are stuck to better than the spike proteins. So this is actually a medicinal pipe, believe it or not. Oh yeah. I've been trying to do the short thing, but not really been incredibly successful at it. Some of them were just too weird because I made them when my brain was all swollen and I got a little too creative. Like I did this I did this reading of this edit I wrote of The Dying of the Light, and with one of the puppets. It's on my shorts page. It's all weird. Well, you can always change it, either by doing voice training, surgery, or software. Those are generally your options. You don't have to be stuck with your voice. You can do a lot with voice training, just changing your resonance patterns. You don't even really have to try to force your tone to a different register, but you can. If you stick with it, you can totally change what tone your voice naturally sits at. Yeah. Well, there's always option 3, software. Get yourself an effect pipeline that changes your voice somehow in a way you like, you know? Tone, richness, put some reverb on it if you want to, or hell, crank the auto tune up to 11 and sound like a robot. Or get yourself a puppet. Have yourself an avatar. You know, either a physical one or just like a VTube thing or whatever. And you can have a silly voice. You can change your voice in a goofy way and have that be the character's voice that's doing the speaking on the videos, you know? Yeah, I haven't really gotten into it. Like, I like the idea of like having software like mimic your movements on an avatar. But a lot of it's kind of weird and doesn't really seem to serve much purpose. I don't know. But I mean, I get it. It's a lot of work to make yourself presentable to be on camera if you're worried about such things. I obviously have ceased to give a shit. Yeah, a little bit. I haven't really looked into it much. Like, I vaguely know of Hatsune Miku or whatever, and like, yeah. But I am not well versed in it. It's not something that I am deeply entrenched in. The most VTubing experience I really have is like watching some Twitch streamers who are only like secondarily VTubers. Like Simon Honeydew from the Yogscast has a VTube avatar, but it's completely insane. He's like this crazy clown with big titties, and it's just goofy nonsense. Yeah, I tried to mess around with VTube Studio a little bit, and it was really glitchy. I didn't like it. I don't know. I maybe I'm just too old. Can't be learning new software with my bad brain. Man, I'm getting major glare on this screen. Can I get this to... Can I get this? Did that work? There we go. Is that a little better? Kind of. Where'd my tools go? But yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff out there. I don't know. I try not to judge people as long as they're not like violating consent or whatever. As long as they're not being like hateful or I don't know. I mean, a lot of these people are kids. Kids are gonna be cringe. It's what kids do. I was cringe as hell when I was a kid. The best American city. Man, I don't know. I haven't really spent like huge amounts of time in lots of cities. Like the only big cities that I really have experience with extensively are like Raleigh, Chapel Hill, which is like right next door. Washington D.C., Valparaiso, Indiana. Yeah, I don't know. I hopped around a lot. I've been to a lot of places for like very short periods of time, but it's hard to like say like, oh, well, this place is the best city because of that. I liked DC. DC was pretty cool, but I probably naturally like DC because that's where my dad was from. So like everybody talked like my dad, kind of blend of accents and like, yeah, generic, vague center-left politics. But I mostly spent time in DC for protests and stuff, so I had a lot of fun in DC, going around, climbing on rooftops to drop banners and getting in fights with riot cops, getting pepper sprayed 3 times in the face. The big one I was in DC for was George W. Bush's second inauguration. I went up there for J20 for that, and I spent like 2 weeks up there helping set up the convergence space and do like lead up actions and stuff, and then I was in the black bloc. What city would I visit anywhere in the world? Visit, huh? I'd probably visit... I was about to say Tokyo, but maybe like Kyoto or something. I don't know. I'd like to visit Japan, but I don't really want to live in Japan. A lot of people say they want to live in Japan. I'd like to see it once. Probably just once, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier for you than me. Yeah, man. Even as an American, though, man, Japan's criminal system scares me. Because they've got like a 99.99999 conviction rate or something crazy like that. It's like, if they decide to arrest you, you're getting convicted. It's happening. And like, not that I'm saying I would go to Japan planning to commit crimes, but, you know, I'm just that sort of person. Yeah, I know you got it bad there too. I've seen a lot of that shit going down out there. I need to boost some posts. It's time to boost. Let's log this nicotine. The sun is becoming a problem for me. Ugh. Alrighty. Oh, me? Oh, I only know English and bad English. I don't have anybody around me that speaks any other languages day to day for me to keep them fresh, you know? Uh my sister, she's a whiz with languages. She can speak like uh she can speak like French, Spanish, Catalan, German, Jula, like a couple other West African dialects. Yeah, my sister, she worked for the UN, traveled all over the world, did all sorts of stuff. Uh, She's the language person in our family. I keep sending her updates about my situation. She hasn't responded in a while. I don't know, man. I've been trying to get her to be more actively involved in our lives for a few years. You know, starting back when Dad was dying of dementia, I kept trying to get her to come down and help me deal with that, and she wouldn't. She never did until he was like on his deathbed. So I was rightfully pissed about all of that, and I ended up boycotting the funeral because the whole family didn't show up until he was dead. And so I was like, I'm not gonna go there while y'all pretend to give a crap about him. I was the only one that stayed with him and took care of him for goddamn 10 years while he lost his mind. And they had the nerve to bury him in Wake Forest, North Carolina, the city that fucked up all our lives, got me fucking both of his kids in trouble with the law, a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm awfully mad at the whole family about all that, but I've been trying to be sociable, or at least, you know, perfunctory with my sister, talking with her about what's going on, but she's just kind of taking a, well, hope it works out attitude. I keep telling everybody, like, all I need is a clean, quiet room I can work in. And, like, I'm working as much as I can. I'm working right now when I don't have a clean, quiet room to work in. I'm working out here, busking on the internet, begging for quarters from the old YouTubes. But, yep. Yeah. Yeah, when they sold his house, they of course took their share of the money from that, even though they didn't show up until it was time to sell it, you know? Supposedly, they still owe me some money from the sale of the house or something. Like, they didn't have the final numbers, but who knows if I'll ever see any of that. All right, we can go back inside the van now, at least. Oof. Donk. Cords catching on stuff. Ow. Wow, it is getting warm in here. Spilled over my damn dabs. That's great. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, my mother is abusive. I'm trying to get away from her, but here I am, parked not too far from her damn house. Yeah, I gotta take my medicine. Hold on a sec. Oh, yeah, man, it's a bummer. Sorry to hear that. My dad started getting abusive when, in the end, but that was just his dementia, you know? He was losing it. Like, he wasn't never like that before. That.
TV, yeah.
All right. Pardon-moi. Mm. Yeah, I went around the same time that I went to Africa when I was around like 14 or so. We went to Paris and we went up through the Pyrenees, through the Catalan region, over to Barcelona, in Spain. Yep. Got to ride in trucks up on very steep mountain passes with very next to the edge of the road. Exciting stuff. Paris was very stinky back then. I understand the sewers don't smell quite as much these days. I don't remember very much about locals and culture. Much there. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Paris. We were only there for like a few days. And then we were just kind of like on in a truck most of the time on the trip to Barcelona. I remember I ate a lot of baguettes. Oh yeah, I love a good baguette. Germany's not looking too great from a perspective at the moment, but yeah, they've got good food. Sorry. Yeah, I don't. My cell signal is not so excellent sometimes. It's been cutting in and out a lot lately. But hopefully it keeps working. Oh man, that one hit my lungs hard. My least favorite? Coconut. I don't like coconut. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't like its texture. That's about the only one that I still am like ew about. Well, there's also cilantro. I've got the cilantro tastes like soap gene, and I think it's coriander too. No, not really. But coconut water isn't really much of a thing around here. It's not it's not a regularly offered beverage, so it's not really an option. I'll use coconut milk when I'm cooking sometimes. If you cook it with the right stuff in the right way, the flavor, the coconut flavor doesn't really like come through. But there, it's normally like when I'm doing baking for vegans or something like that, you know? Oh yeah, I will use it in curries sometimes. I do like a good curry. Oh, it's buried over there. I was about to pull out my spice box, but it's buried under a bunch of stuff. I've got a big old bag of Kashmiri chili powder. I put that in all sorts of stuff. Speaking of milk, this gallon of milk in here has probably gone bad, sitting in this hot van. I don't have any ice packs in there with it or anything. I don't have a cooler anymore. My cooler fell apart. Oh, my chest. Come on, lungs. Oh, I need to plug this in while I got the van running. We are slowly losing ground on the battery, even with it plugged in here. It's the connection is not excellent. Sorry, I'm kind of spacing out. I just took my medicine, so for a few minutes after that, I kind of go space cadet sometimes. My favorite spice. I don't know. It's always changing all the time. I like clove. Clove's really good. I like doing like a clove honey glaze on a like a leg of lamb. I've done that a couple of times. That's really good. Or clove and maple syrup. That also does a nice, good sweet glaze. Yeah. Yeah, I've got like 3 different bottles of cloves in my spice box because I keep getting more of them whenever I'll be like out somewhere and go to do some cooking. I'm like, we gotta get some cloves. I got this idea. Yeah, cumin's pretty good. It tends to get like, I don't know, all the Tex-Mex around here just piles cumin on top of cumin on top of cumin, so you kind of get blown out with it if you eat a lot of Tex-Mex food. But it's a solid spice. Uh, I love the smell of cumin. It's just like it gets used so much. It tends to like overpower the other flavors that people tend to cook it with. So I tend to go hold back on the cumin sometimes compared to how other people cook around here. I mean, a lot of the times it can. I've got an entire uh, box of hot sauces. I don't have it in the van. It's over in the tent. I haven't brought it yet, but I've got all sorts of hot sauces. I'm a spicy food person. Yeah, I've never been down to Texas yet. Uh, I don't know if I ever will. Texas is kind of scary. It is a politically fraught place. feet are burning. I got to swap my socks. Man, I'm out of damn witch hazel. I think I might have like a splash left. Well, I guess we're using rubbing alcohol. This isn't great for my skin, but it'll have to do. Oh, but yeah, you got to use cars to get everywhere in America. It's ridiculous. Even here, I'm in the middle of a city and like technically we have a bus system, but it's awful. It takes forever to get anywhere. Like, it's a disaster. Yeah, if the bus system's set up properly, it's nice. It's just ours, like, the buses only run like once every hour if you're lucky. And like, the routes aren't great, and the stops are in weird places, and yeah, it's just like, you can get from nowhere to nowhere, but oh, you're trying to get from somewhere to somewhere, that's gonna be difficult. Shit. Yeah, I'm a fan of trains. I think we need more trains, trams, and trolleys. That's where I'm planting my flag. We have abysmal rail travel here in America. Amtrak is a joke, but that's my preference. I loved riding on the trains when I was in Europe. It was great. Yeah, I've never really been in New York City. I only like passed like through the edge of that general area and like barely stopped. So I don't really have a lot of New York City experience. Uh, I mean, after the revolution. What you doing, buddy? But no, we're not going to get any great investment into train infrastructure under our current government system. It's just not gonna happen. No, I mean, he might get something put into some bills that will move some money around and cause some projects to occur, but they're going to be half thought out, half measures that don't fundamentally rework the system into something usable, and it's mostly just gonna funnel money into his contractor friends' pockets. Like, hello, Finn3344. But oh yeah, it's bad. The Democratic Party is entirely captured by the corporate, you know, our corporate overlords. Like they will not do anything that fundamentally upsets business in any way because they mostly are business. Like all of our Congress members, our senators, our congressmen and women, they all are heavily invested into the stock market. They're allowed to make trades on, you know, the companies that move everything in our economy. And they're drafting legislation that impact those companies. So those companies give them money to draft legislation that favors them, and they get to know when that legislation is about to come out so they can make advantageous trades and snowball the money they're getting made, not just from you know, literal like campaign contributions through 501c3, you know, super PACs and all that sort of stuff, but the 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 damn uh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, they they're basically completely bought out by the corporatocracy. We've and I mean you see why do we have two incredibly decrepit old men that literally nobody likes as our presidential candidates? Like, I mean, Donald Trump, at least people in his party like him. In the Democratic Party, nobody likes Joe Biden. Like, the most you get is people online yelling at you that you need to shut up and deal with it, that you need to vote for Joe because he's the only option. But nobody's really been like, oh, he's actually a good, like, politician. Yeah, it's Jover, for real. But yeah, all the shenanigans with the Supreme Court lately, it's just becoming really, really obvious that, like, the laws are all just nonsense. Like, and they've been nonsense for a while. Like, the connection between what the law says and what the men with guns in your neighborhood enforce has been severed for decades. It hasn't had shit to do with shit since I was a kid. When I was 14 years old, I went outside with some friends and took some gasoline in a plastic Coke bottle, and we dumped it out on the road and set it on fire. Just a little fire in the middle of the road at like 3 a.m. Nobody was there. The cops came, rounded us all up, charged us with possession of a weapon of mass destruction and maliciously assaulting the asphalt. And when we went into court, my lawyer, like, you know, my family had money back then, and they threw money at a lawyer, and he went in and was like, my client, first of all, a weapon of a mass destruction, the minimum thing to be a weapon of mass destruction is a Molotov cocktail, which is a burning substance in a frangible bottle. It has to be glass or something that'll break when you throw it to make it splatter, and it has to have a wick in it that makes it, you know, flame up when you throw it. We didn't have that. We had a plastic bottle that we just dumped out. And he was also like, my client had no malice towards the asphalt. But then the judge was just like, well, you're a juvenile, so it doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna find you guilty anyway. And they put me on probation on the first offenders program. That it gave me 225 hours of community service with the Marines. I had to go in to the Marine recruiting office. Oh yeah, the cops kept messing with me all the time after that. Like, at that point they had decided that I was a bad kid or whatever. And then when I was 17, they sent an 18-year-old that I knew, they were paying him $50 a charge. They had him call me up and say, hey, you got any weed? And I was like, I'll smoke a bowl with you. So he comes to my house and starts going like, oh man, if I don't go home with some weed, my stepdad's gonna beat me up. My stepdad's gonna beat me up if I don't take some weed home. You gotta give me some weed so my stepdad doesn't beat me up. And like, and then, so after like half an hour of this, of him like crying that he's gonna be like physically beaten if he doesn't have some weed, I just give him some and just be okay, go, whatever. I give him like half a gram. And then the cops, it turns out he was working with the cops and they were paying him $50 per felony. They charged me with possession with intent to distribute, sale and delivery, maintaining a vehicle, maintaining a dwelling, and conspiracy. 5 felony charges because I gave some dumbass they were paying $50 a charge, half a gram of weed, to get out of my house and stop telling me obvious lies. Like, he just would not stop and leave. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, so, and that just like, and at that point I was just basically screwed, you know. I didn't get off probation until my late 20s because they kept throwing more and more bullshit at me, you know, every time I'd try to get a little further ahead, especially after I broke my back and got addicted to opiates and everything, and they'd keep charging you with possession of heroin or whatever. Like, yeah. Like, the system is designed to trap you in already, even without cops just making shit up and judges not caring that the cops make shit up. But it's been going on my entire life, and like, now with the rulings that the Supreme Court's been having lately, like, even like legal scholars have like no way to even like put 2 and 2 to equal 17, like, coming out of the Supreme Court. So the whole notion of the rule of law is fundamentally crumbling in America, and it's doing so at a very alarming clip. Like, everybody's starting to look around and realize, oh, the law and what we have to do to not get shot have nothing to do with each other. So, like, everybody's like losing their mind and panicking. Who's paying attention? And a lot of people who aren't paying attention are gonna suddenly be very alarmed when it flares up in the next like couple of months or something, I'd say. Like, before I had been saying, like, you know, 5 years. We got 5 years before all sorts of shit hits the fan. But with, I don't know, man, the way the legal justifications for everything are just like falling apart one after the other. We got a Supreme Court justice that everybody just knows is bought. Clarence Thomas has been paid for. Billionaires have been giving him tons of money and expensive vacations and stuff, and nobody is just doing anything about it. We're just kind of like, ah, well, I guess that sucks. It's wild.
What's up, man?
What's up?
What you doing?
Live streaming?
Live streaming?
Yeah.
Alright, I was just...
Speak of the devils.
Hello.
Say hi to the internet, guys.
What's going on, man? So the reason we're here talking to you is someone just called us saying you had like chemicals with you and they were concerned about that, that's all.
Oh, no, that's just my laundry stuff.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And they probably saw the mask. I got an autoimmune disorder that
I think that's why they also called in.
Yeah. I got to wear this most of the time because of the pollen really messes with me. It starts making my brain swell and stuff.
Cool. Alright.
Yeah. But no, I'm just sitting here talking to the internet.
Cool. What,
Yep.
Instagram?
It's YouTube.
YouTube? Cool.
Yeah, I do puppet shows and stuff.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Play guitar a lot?
Yeah, not so much since I broke my finger. So that's kind of put a damper on the instrumentation.
I gotcha.
This is a Harmony Monterey, and this is a Japanese knockoff Strat.
So,
Nice.
I play a little acoustic, but I'm mainly I'm a percussionist.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing for like 23 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just checking.
I'm just checking on you, that's all really.
I'll
Yeah.
let you get back to your followers.
Yeah, no,
You living in this thing right now?
Huh?
You living in this thing right now?
I'm working on getting into another hotel. The hotel I went into last time was overrun with roaches, and it
so
made me
good.
really sick, and I had to I wasn't able to work while I was in there, and so I kind of had to scramble to out. I'm trying to do this to raise up money, you know,
Fair enough.
so I can get into a hotel, but I am a little behind at the moment. But
Fair enough.
I've got some donations today, but hopefully we'll get there by the end of the night.
Yeah. I hope things get better for you, man.
All right, man.
Have a good day.
Well, you have a good one.
Well, I'm kind of glad you were here. If I hadn't have been live streaming, that might have played out differently. You didn't even see the one that was right there. Standing in the other doorway with his arm cocked up on it. Man, isn't that just timing? Man, I'm gonna have to download this VOD. Woo! Oh man, the way that one of them must have been standing right around the corner for like 10 minutes listening to me tell that whole story. I think the puppets help too, you know? People are a little, a little calmer. Oh, I do cute puppet stuff, you know? But... I know, right? Some Karen had to panic and call the popo. Sometimes. Kind of depends on the situation. The fact that the camera was already rolling helped me bluster my way through that with a bit more confidence. I probably would have been a little bit more nervous if I wasn't live on the internet at the moment. Ruby's messaging on Discord. She's like, "Oh, I saw that you just got messed with by the cops." Thank you, Ruby. Well, that is just like fun times, fun times. Yep. I get a lot more agitated thinking about interacting with cops than actually interacting with cops. Like, I will sometimes get stuck in my head and get up in like these like fantasy interactions where I'm having to deal with cops and things, blah 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 blah, and we start arguing or something. I don't know, you know. I just build up these nonsense in my head. There's one recurring theme about like seeing cops in grocery stores that pisses me off. Like, I shouldn't have to see a cop when I'm out with my kids getting groceries. Like, I don't approve, you know? And but I can get pretty worked up just thinking about that sort of shit. But then I tend to actually, I have a really good crisis response. Like, when something important is happening, I tend to just do what needs to be done. Like when my brother OD'd, like his wife was like freaking out, crying, like, you know, screaming, do something, and I just, you know, fucking pulled his ass flat on the floor, dialed 911, started doing fucking chest compressions, you know, like, I would have Narcaned him if I had any at the time. I've had to Narcan a couple of people though, done that before too. But yeah, when the shit hits the fan, like I tend to just kind of click into, like, I don't know, my brain is just suddenly like, oh, don't fuck up now. And I don't know, I just kind of coast through it. Sometimes I can be shook up afterwards. God damn. Talk about timing though. That was like, they had to be fucking like synchronizing that or something, like listening to me. Because at least one of them had been standing like right there. And just like stepped out from around the corner when the other ones pulled up. So, yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely were listening. I just, and I had seen a cop drive by like 5-10 minutes before, so they could have been listening for a while. Who knows? But whatever. I mean, it's not like I was telling lies. Oh yeah, I mean, I do need to get the fuck out of Raleigh. Like, I probably shouldn't hang out at this park again after today. Is it been long enough that I can justifiably? Not exactly. 53. Whatever. I'm gonna do a dab, even though it's not time yet. I deserve it after that. God. Why they gotta jump me like that, man? Oop, Stuart. Where are you going, Stuart? I had to fix Stuart's eye. He lost his pupil somehow earlier. When I pulled him out of the box, he didn't have it. It is 5:14 p.m. I just have the sun like coming right into the van, so sort of bouncing off of this pile of stuff here. They saw you had some chemicals. Chemicals? What? My all free and clear? My low splash bleach? Chemicals. God damn, I don't need the RPD thinking more about me than they already do. They're gonna make life difficult for me now. Oh yeah, absolutely. But, you know, there's a lot of childish people who feel like the only thing they can do is call the violence and makers. You know, they don't know how to deal with anything themselves. They don't have any, you know, agency. So the only thing they can think to do when they're confronted with something they don't understand is to throw violence at it in the form of the state. That would have been a great speech to give right before I went out in a blaze of glory, though. Talk about timing, damn. But nah. I have mostly surrendered myself to the life of a propagandist instead of a fighter. I've got too many things wrong with me physically to try to be on the front lines. But I'll still be out here speaking my truth as long as they haven't put a bullet in me yet. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to give them a search. Where's the, hold on. I gotta fucking... Hey y'all, hey y'all. Tune into my live stream and scrub back for an amazing coincidence of timing where I give a whole speech about corrupt cops and the degradation of the justice system before the cops swoop in to hassle me. Oh, okay. There. Maybe that'll get some numbers on this live stream. Let's see if the numbers start popping up now that I just told Blue Sky the cops were here. Yeah, let's see if the number go up now. Come on, y'all, come check. I know a lot of, well, I don't know if it's gonna stay up if they scrub backwards to look if that still counts as a viewer or if that just counts as a video view. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I just didn't know if it still showed as a viewer if somebody had like scrubbed backwards to look at earlier when the cops were messing with us. That was great. Man, especially that they didn't even tell me that I needed to like leave or anything. They were just like, okay, just checking on you. I think the fact that I was live and I had just given that speech about cops made them want to be like, we're gonna make sure we're extra the nice guys, and that's also why I spun the camera on them. You know, I was like, okay, go ahead, prove me wrong. I'm fine with that. Like, I'll let you not do something shitty to me. That's perfectly fine with me. Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna download this and reformat it into a widescreen video because it's too long for a short. But we're gonna cut this all up once I get somewhere I can boot up my desktop. I can't do the video editing on this damn phone. So everybody, be sure to donate so we can chop up this video of the cops coming right after I talk about how shitty the cops are. That was amazing. My phone is still losing ground on the battery. We're down to 7%, but I think we're just gonna run this into the ground. My overall, where are we at right now? I've got $15 so far, and our goal is 165. So we're not too far along. We are quite behind. Yeah. I can, parts of that are different things. Like, it's $45 to renew the van tomorrow. to get a hotel room is like $80. Yeah, and I also wanted to get, like, I need some food and gas, and I wanted to get a new air filter, because if I can get a new air filter to stick on this fan, then I can filter my air in here or in the hotel room or whatever, and that's like $20 for an air filter. Bummer. Well, thanks anyway. I appreciate the effort. But yeah, that's where we're at. We are at $15 out of 165 right now. And now that the cops have decided to start messing with me, it's even more important for me to probably get into a hotel room tonight, because, man, I'm sure they will love to find some excuse to pop up on me when I am not in the middle of live streaming to the internet, you know? Somebody just liked a post of mine from a long ass time ago. April 12th, 1:39 p.m. I posted, "Scrub-a-dug-tug, zig every zug. Everyone's lonely, give them a hug. Big-a-dig bad, fig every fag. Everyone's poorly, switch out the tags. Kick a rich bitch, stitch every snitch. Everyone's talking, wakes in a ditch." Sure. I don't know how they found that. What were they searching for? Snitch? I'll repost that. Anybody watching can find it on my blue sky. willowdraven.bsky.social. I probably have a Veronia.studio / either B Sky or Blue Sky. I can't remember which one. I can look it up. Why rely on your fallible memory, Willow? You have the power of technology in your hand. It says public watch hours. I think there's something about your I don't know. I don't know what that means. What public watch hours versus private watch hours. Like if there's some setting in your settings that can make your watch hours private so they don't count towards people. I have no idea. This is something we should investigate. But first, let me look at my links. Archive links. Yeah, it's just Veronia.studio/Blue Sky. All one word, all lowercase. Not Veronia Studios. I couldn't get the studios in the domain name. So it's Veronia.studio/Blue Sky. We'll take you to the only social network that I really use. Well, I use Discord, which is more of a chat room thing. My Discord is in the thingy thing. Oh yeah, maybe unlisted videos, or yeah. private videos, things like that. I don't know. That just tripped me up. But hopefully the stream watch hours count towards the monetization thing. Yeah, the Discord is in the description. If you click that veronia.studio/discord link, it will take you to our server. I think that's in there. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't put it in there. But it's the links that are in there that are like veronia.studio/something. Just replace the thing after it with Discord. Not really. I mean, the idea was to have it be like a co-op, but I've got some people that are working on the puppet show with me right now. We haven't really talked about like any official like membership or like filing to form a 501c or something to be like a legal entity, but I mean, there are people on there that help me. I have some mods and admins, and my kids are on there. Yeah, so there's like 40-50 people on there, something like that. It's mostly me talking about the constant catastrophe of my life, but there are other people there. Had, you don't have it anymore? Yeah. Mine hasn't really been an issue yet, but that's probably just because I'm the only person that talks in there all the time. Whew. Well, man, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. My mouth is really starting to burn. I need to put the mask on, I think. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna have to put this on, which is probably gonna keep people from wanting to listen to me talk like this. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming in the morning, if nothing else. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But thanks for tuning in. It's been good having you here.
Anybody else out there? Should I shut this down and move locations? My battery's gonna shut YouTube down soon. I'm down to 6%. Whew. Oh man. I guess I'm gonna shut this down and get out of here. Well, thanks everybody. Let's hope we survive until tomorrow.